It's Thursday, which means it's almost Friday. Happy Thursday, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Anyways, welcome. If you are new to watching, welcome to Life with Herpes. My name is Alexandra. I've been living with herpes for over 20 years. Awesome. If you've been here, you know that I get hundreds of questions. So if you want to start asking your questions now, that would be great so that we can get right to it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yesterday I was getting lots of great questions about herpes up here versus herpes down there. I was getting lots of questions about transmission. I was getting lots of questions about how to prevent transmission to a partner. I was getting lots of questions about being pregnant. I just posted a video on Instagram if you want to check it out about with me being pregnant. So I was actually 9 months pregnant with my OB talking about pregnancy. So definitely go check that out if that is where you are. So yeah, just a little bit about me. My name is Alexandra, founder of Life with Herpes. I have been living with herpes since 2003. I was diagnosed with HSV1 oral in 2003 and HSV2 genital in 2011. So I've living with it, I've dated with it, I've gotten married with it, I've had a baby with it. I have overcome the struggles. I've overcome the anxiety, the depression, the anger, the frustration, all that cloud of disruption that comes with a diagnosis. I have overcome it. So with that being said, it is my purpose to go live, to educate, to be here for you, to be a support. I have thousands of videos, whether they are on YouTube, whether they're on Instagram, whether they are on TikTok. I have thousands and thousands of videos you can review talking about anything from herpes 101, what is herpes, what is not herpes, what is it like to date, what is it like to disclose, and how to prevent herpes outbreaks. So I have tons of videos for you to check out if you want to go check them out. Like I said, if you are new, welcome. I get hundreds of questions, so feel free to ask your questions here. That way I can answer them. And as you know, I get hundreds and hundreds of hundreds of questions. So I answer them in the order that they come. And so sometimes people are like, you haven't answered my question. And I'm like, they're still popping in. Also, if you don't have herpes, but know someone that does have herpes, please feel free to share my information with that person. Like I said, I've been talking about this publicly since 2017. I have opened up my life and begun the conversation. So feel free to definitely follow and share. All right, some questions that I was getting earlier was, what's the difference between herpes up here and herpes down there if you have HSV1? So HSV1 is 2 out of 3 people that have it. It's extremely, extremely common. So 2 out of 3 people have HSV1. Originally, we believed that HSV1 was always oral. However, now we have many, many, many people getting diagnosed down there with HSV1. So it doesn't mean that if it's up here, it's HSV1, and if it's down there, it's HSV2. It can be either one in either location. That's a big misconception up there. People with oral herpes don't believe, like people that get cold sores don't believe that they have herpes. It is herpes, and it can be transmitted by doing things with your mouth with a person. Amy says, why would you want to put this on here? No disrespect. I totally get that, Amy, and I totally understand why would you want to talk about this publicly. So in 2017, I'll back up my story. So I was diagnosed with genital herpes in 2011. I was devastated. I was alone. I couldn't talk to anybody about it because why would you talk to people about it? Why would you open up about it? Why would you want people to know you have a lifelong STD with all the stigma that goes with it, with all the potentially trouble dating with it, all sorts of things. In 2017, I was asked to speak at a podcast conference. It wasn't for herpes or anything. I was asked to speak at a conference, and on the stage, I opened up sharing that I had genital herpes. And when I did that, I realized that it was, number one, freeing. Number two, so many people came and were like, you. I have it as well and never told anybody. Thank you for sharing. Or 3, people said, I don't have herpes, but I have something else. And so when I shared it, I realized, oh my gosh, I can support people. And I went back to where I was when I was first diagnosed and I was alone. I didn't feel like anybody would ever accept me. And I was an Eeyore. I was literally Eeyore. I had a rain cloud over my head. And so by opening up and by sharing, I know I have transformed so many different people's lives. I have talked about it. I have opened up and I have helped them. So that's why I talk about it. At this point, I'm over it. I'm over the stigma. The entire world knows I have it. It has not impacted my life. I am married to the love of my life. We have a beautiful little boy. I have a beautiful life. I'm healthy. I'm happy. And I've worked through all of the anger and trauma that went along with being diagnosed with herpes. So it is my hope that I can share this and that other people will realize, wow, whew, okay, I can get through this. And really, when you go through the transformation, you become, you like become this amazing person through this transformation of being diagnosed with herpes. I don't wish it on anybody. I don't want anybody to go get herpes. Does it suck having outbreaks? Absolutely. I'm not going to lie about that. But does it suck having herpes? No, my life's completely the same. So to answer your question, Amy, that's why I talk about it. Everybody has their own personal story. Mine's herpes. Someone's could be drug abuse. Someone's could be a drug addiction. Someone could be some sort of assault. All sorts of things that we feel hold us back and keep us handicapped. And it's really something that we place on ourselves. So great question. Thanks for asking that. Can someone get it from using a finger in someone who does? So technically, yes. The herpes virus doesn't necessarily like our fingers. Back in the day, I don't know about you guys. Look, I'm looking at my fingers. I made sourdough this morning. I make sourdough bread. I'm obsessed with baking. Anyways, so I have like the dough stuck in my fingernails still. Back in the day, I can remember being a little girl and my dentist did not use gloves when I was little. And so now dentists use gloves, obviously. But there was a period where dentists had herpetic whitlow. It's herpes on your fingers because they were in people's mouth. And so, yes, if you have cuts on your fingers, like a paper cut, like I have a cut here on my finger from, I don't know what, you get paper cuts, whatever, you clip your cuticles, things like that. Yes, you can get herpes on your fingers. Again, the virus prefers the mouth and it prefers the genitals, but really that's a great segue. Herpes can really go anywhere if you give it the opportunity. So if your partner has an outbreak and has a lesion and you have a cut on your finger and you touch it, you can get it on your fingers. Guys, thank you for the hearts. I love seeing the hearts. You guys are asking some really great questions, especially why would I want to talk about this publicly? I mean, I really encourage questions like that, and I appreciate you asking. Again, there's just so many people living with herpes. 2 out of 3 people have HSV1 and 1 out of 6 have HSV2. Roughly 80% of the population has herpes. So when you have 80% of the population living with herpes, 90% of the people with genital herpes don't know they have it. It leaves us with people still transmitting it, wondering where it came from. And majority of us have it, and we're living with this like silent shame. And I just no longer want people to feel that way. So thank you for the follows. Thank you for your questions. Yeah, you said you got it in 2013. It was hard. You cried for days. Yeah, I cried for 2 years. I mean, I get it. Like, it's miserable. It is absolutely it's ice breaking. No, it's absolutely crushing. And it is suffocating when you find out you have it. You remember when, Kat says, you remember when I had a herpes scare and I came across your videos years ago and it put me at ease. I'm so happy to hear that. And I'm glad that you had, not that you had the scare, but it was, I'm assuming, negative, and that you were able to move through it and now learn about herpes, learn about how common it is, and learn your best way to prevent catching it as well as transmitting it if you have a partner who has it. You're a blessing. People literally unalive themselves because of this unnecessary stigma. I have people I talk to all the time that are in that state, and if I can just provide, I am a minister, I am religious, I've lived through being diagnosed with herpes, so anything I can do to share that information is going to be helpful. Thank you for sharing. Oh, you're welcome. Can you get it from sharing utensils, drinks, and if the person isn't showing symptoms? So it's really hard to get it through like a third party. I don't know if like a fork is a third party, but you know what I mean. It's hard to get it through a third if you don't have an outbreak. So here's what I mean. Can you transmit herpes without an outbreak? You can. So there's this thing called viral shedding. The virus sheds its viral DNA. It pops up to the surface of the skin wherever you're contagious, and you can potentially transmit it to a partner. So can you pass it through like taking a sip and then you take a sip? Yes, it's possible. Is it as common? No, right? It's skin to skin, skin to skin. That's how the virus likes it. In your opinion, what is the best way to disclose? In my opinion, I would recommend finding out what you want out of the relationship. Are you looking for something casual or are you looking for something more long-term? If it's casual, I say just get right to the point. Just get right to, hey, I want to do this. Do you want to do this? Do you intend to do this with me? Like, what are we thinking? Here's what we need to know. I have this. This is what we're going to do to prevent transmission. Personally, I recommend you both go getting tested and showing up with your test results and like, I'm negative for these things and I'm positive for this. That way you know what your partner has and does not have, and vice versa. These things can be dormant, these things can be silent, and we may be carriers of things that we just don't know. If you are wanting something more long-term, I'm a big proponent of taking your time. In my opinion, there's no reason to rush the disclosure, because you're going to be wanting to know, is this person somebody I want to spend time with? Is this someone that's worth learning? Is he or she worth learning this personal information about me? Maybe, maybe not. So don't feel like you have to go on a date disclosing. Wait and find out. If you get to this point, you're like, wow, I'm into this. Like, I really like where this is going. Then you can begin to have those conversations. So I have a toolkit, you guys. You can check it out on lifewithherpes.com. It is a toolkit that walks you through on how to disclose. I have, I think, like 16 different videos in there. I have scripts that you can walk through. You can practice on your dog, your cat, your roommate, whatever. I'm 9 months pregnant in those videos, so I love looking at those videos. But yeah, there's tons of information in those videos. It's one night stand type scripts. It's long term. It talks about what happens if you don't disclose. So there's a lot of great information. It's all linked for you. You can check it out if that's something you want to download. You can probably get through everything in like an hour. Do you think HSV1 and HSV2 manifest differently? I do. I have both, and I never get HSV1 oral outbreaks, and HSV2 outbreaks, I get them if I'm in any sort of like stress. It's been 6 years for me, and it started off as HPV. So HPV and HSV are different viruses. I just want people to realize HPV and HIV and HSV, there are lots of H's, lots of V's. They're all different viruses, and they do not transmute into another. Like, they're not related. They're all different. But yeah, most women have HPV. Most men have it too. They just can't test for it. If a woman's ever had an abnormal pap, that's HPV. HPV and HSV are two different viruses, but HSV is the herpes simplex virus. You can have HSV2 and be dormant for a while. You can have HSV1 or 2, and it can be dormant for years, decades, months. It could be dormant for a long time before it even manifests. You want a baby? Will I have a hard time conceiving? Herpes has nothing to do with fertility, so go for it. Have fun. Had anyone here had a baby? I have had a baby. He's my world. I don't have a picture that I can like pull up. He's my world. He's 3. And yes, I had a normal pregnancy. I had a vaginal delivery. Yay, you're 6 months pregnant. Congratulations. That's amazing. I'm so excited for you. Sorry if it's already been asked, but do you also take Acyclovir on top of the supplements? I do not take any supplements. Excuse me, I take supplements. I don't take any prescription medication. So I just take Lysine, which is right here because it helps block the replication of the herpes virus. This is linked for you. I take Monolaurin, which helps disrupt the outer shell of the herpes virus so that our immune system can penetrate it, as well as other enveloped viruses that we have. And then I take Andrographis. So these are like my non-negotiable that I take daily. I take them before bed. I get them from Palmera Health, aka Natural Cure Labs. It's all linked for you. They are the most ethical company. They have the best ingredients. They have a good manufacturing practice award. So this is like the only company I buy it from. Everyone has HSV1. You can ask your doctor. That is correct. Someone said your ex cheated on you and you caught herpes. You hope he's well. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, it happens a lot. You know, people cheat or they're not aware that they have herpes and it gets transmitted unintentionally. So the prescriptions are Valtrex, Valacyclovir, and Acyclovir. Those are the prescribed medications or the antivirals for herpes. What if your IgG tests are negative? So that is the test that we test for the antibodies in your blood. So herpes doesn't live in your blood. The antibodies are in your blood. So it can be negative for a couple of reasons. It could be brand new in your body, and so your body may not have had the chance to actually create the antibodies, so you may be testing too soon. Or sometimes if you haven't had an outbreak in a long time, your body hasn't had an opportunity to make the antibodies. So you can go negative even though you are positive. Once you've had herpes, you have it. You're not able to rid yourself of it. At this point, we don't have the technology to rid our bodies of viruses, but it may just be that you have very low antibodies. Do you post something do you put something? I'm like, do I post something? I'm like, I don't post my outbreaks. Do you put something on Outbreaks? Yes. So this is what is our best seller. So it took me over a year to formulate the Secret Society Wellness products. They are natural, and my son put his finger in this one, so I use it for demonstrations. Don't worry, this one is not for sale. I actually don't store them in my home. I have a third party ship them. But they are all made naturally with products that are made to soothe, like wound repair, soothe the skin, comfort the skin, help with pain, and speed up recovery. So I have a lot of different products. I have an oil, I have bath salts, we have all sorts of things. This one is our best seller, as well as the wellness oil, the everyday wellness oil, as well as the Reviver soap. We sell out of this every month. The ones we sell now are not the multicolor like this. This has eucalyptus, peppermint. It is like the best soap. You don't want to use any of those like synthetic soaps. But anyways, yeah, so these are the products that I use when I have outbreaks. The soap, my husband, my son cannot get enough of this soap. You don't have to have herpes to use the soap or any of these products. Like I've had like other skin, like you cut yourself or whatever, I use this on it because it helps speed it up. It also sanitizes it, all sorts of things. So it's all linked for you. I used to go live with Chris Pickering. Yeah, he's definitely awesome and has become an awesome advocate. It's been fun to watch him grow and create a lot of footage around this. So you take medicine to prevent spreading it? I do not. I take the supplements that I talked about, but I do not take the antivirals. I didn't know I had it until I got pregnant with my first son, and then I didn't have it. They said I didn't have it at first. Khadijah, I'm so sorry. Probably being pregnant brought it out, right? Brought out the the stress hormones in your body. You said you had a baby and he has HSV2 as well because it was dormant in me. Had no idea. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry to hear that your baby got it during delivery. They wouldn't let me take medicine because I have no symptoms. What can you take over the counter not to spread? So you can take, hold on, I have to stop I have my like spa music going on. Let me just fix that. All right. So what do you take? I recommend, I guess I can't recommend, I'm not a doctor, but this is what I take. I take Andrographis daily, I take Lysine daily, and I take Monolaurin daily. These are my non-negotiables that I take daily. They're all linked for you, and they are all formulated for immune support. Well, these are formulated for immune support, Monolaurin and Andrographis, and then Lysine is specifically for herpes. So I take these daily. They're non-negotiables. I'm so sorry to hear about your little boy. You said that he fought for his life but is now thriving. I am so glad to hear that. I mean, I'm not glad to hear that he had herpes, but I'm so glad to hear that he's thriving. Where do you get the supplements? You can just click on my link in the bio as well as the wellness products for the herpes outbreaks. They're all linked for you in my bio. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you for your follows. I see people following. I appreciate the follows. Like I said, if you have herpes or know someone that has herpes, please recommend sharing it with that person. Is it true fasting can help with herpes? I don't know. I know nothing about fasting. I am not a faster. I cannot fast. I am not a nice person if I don't eat a meal. So I don't know about fasting. All right, guys, thank you for joining. Hope you have an awesome Thursday. It's almost Friday, and I will see you soon. Bye. Everything we talked about, by the way, is linked in the bios. Okay.